I hope will be burned and will disappear as fast as it arrived. Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Yemi, and today is the one day in March when it is snowing in New York City and there is a plumber in the upstairs apartment. Things are going really well. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the 2023 spring trends, categorizing them with a yes, no, or a maybe. The yes stands for things that I like and say, yes, this would be great in my wardrobe. The maybe is a I'm on the fence about it, let me think about it, or I haven't tried it yet. And the no is exactly as it says, a no. Please burn it, it's an abomination, keep it away from me, I don't like it. Before we jump in, one last note. I am not talking about really obvious trends like a singular color like red or a single texture like denim. We're going to be going into the niches and the weird ones and the maybe predictable ones. I hope you enjoy this chit chat and let's jump right in. The first trend, which has been going on for a while, is balletcore, and for balletcore I give a yes. Balletcore is a very feminine aesthetic, so it feels very natural to me stylistically. And ballet flats, more specifically, are a staple item in your closet in the spring, so it makes sense for it to get a comeback even though it was never gone. I specifically love my ballet flats on the more ballet-esque side. I have these really cute pink ones that I was showcasing in my last video. I know a lot of people like to try the Y2K 2000s ballet flats, but that is not me. Next up, we have maxi skirts, and maxi skirts get a solid maybe. The problem with maxi skirts is that you need to know how to style them, and this is coming from someone who had a huge maxi skirt phase in like her college years. I think I had like 10 different maxi skirts, and like Zara and H&M, they all had maxi skirts. While those were nice, it was really hard for me to style them, especially as a bustier person. Usually people try to style maxi skirts with very tiny tops, and for busty people that is pretty tough to do, so I definitely err on the side of caution with them. They can be styled well. I recently thrifted one that I love, but you really just need to think twice because they're not as obvious to style. I forgot to say that because these are all personal opinions, please do not be offended. I do not like the denim maxi skirts. I think they're a little bit tacky. They look a lot like something from the early 2000s. That was a traumatic era for us. I think for people who are not dedicated to styling it or experimenting with it, it will be very short-lived. Our next trend is moto, which is a no for me. Roll the clip.
I think moto likes you.
Moto jackets are a little bit too edgy for me personally, and they feel very trend specific. They kind of feel like those green jackets that we all had in like the 2010s. I feel like this is going to be very short-lived, so I don't want to really spend my money if it's going to be like that. I feel like these would be uncomfy for the spring. Why would you want to wear a moto jacket in the spring? They don't seem very versatile like leather jackets could be, or easy to style with other things. And coming from someone who's a motorbiker enthusiast's daughter, I have worn moto jackets in the past and they are not that airy or comfy. They're pretty stiff. Definitely not very breathable unless you get like a really well-made one. But in general, I feel like these are kind of a time and place item. The next trend is hearts. That's a maybe for me. I don't know about having hearts on everything. It could look cute. We all know the pink heart dress. I think that's very adorable. But then there are so many other heart prints that just kind of look tacky. This is a weird one, but it also, for me personally, depends very much on how the heart print looks. Like, is it one of those like millennial hearts? Is it like a basic cute heart? It really depends on that and how much of it there is. But I do like the idea of them, especially in accessories. I feel like these would be really cute to accessorize with, like heart clips, heart jewelry, heart garments. Really depends on the item in my personal opinion. Next we have a trend that is already on my pencil, which is ribbons and bows. Ribbons and bows just add a little extra touch of femininity. I should maybe show you guys what I'm talking about. I think these are cute styled in sweaters, in your clothes, on skirts, in your hair, on bags, even on shoes. I think these add so much variety to your outfits, and they actually help you outfit repeat without it feeling boring. If you haven't already tried ribbons and you're interested, I would suggest buying a few and experimenting with them. Another very feminine trend similar to ribbons is ruffles, and they get a yes for me. A kind of conditional yes, because on the whole, I agree, ruffles are wonderful. They're very cute. However, obviously not everybody's gonna wear what was worn on the runway because that's usually kind of exaggerated, but I don't like those very massive ruffles, and this is just a personal body type thing. Big ruffles don't look good on my body types because they take a lot of the attention away. I don't know, I just feel like if there's a lot of ruffles, they can hide the person beneath them. However, I love draping ruffles. I love the ruffles that are very long, very pretty, or just a little bit here and there. They're also a great way to add some uniqueness to an otherwise plain outfit, and I am here for that. Now this trend I don't like, and that is fringe. I don't think fringe is very attractive. This is a personal opinion. I feel like fringe is very complicated to wear and to style without it looking tacky or cliche. Honestly, fringe just kind of feels like Coachella 2013, which I would rather we didn't repeat, so that's a pass. Now my opinion on this trend may surprise you, but sheer or transparent clothing gets a maybe. Those are so hard to style, especially if you are a bustier girl. People usually tend to style see-through or sheer items with underwear underneath. This works great for the smaller chested girls, but for us bigger chested girls, I feel like we have to be really selective on how we style this, what we buy. I would love to buy like a sheer baby doll dress and then style that on top of like a mini skirt and a cute little top. This is something that just you really have to experiment a lot with. Yes, you have more room for creativity, but you also need to think about how you can style it. And speaking of underwear as outerwear is continuing to 2023 spring. Once again, difficult to style if you are a bustier girl. And also this is a personal comment that I think a lot of busty people can relate to. Wearing underwear as outerwear as a bigger chested girl outside, you can get a lot of nasty comments, judgmental stares. We get a lot of harsh treatment for wearing the same clothes that people who are more flat-chested would wear because they can kind of get away with a lot of things without it being hypersexualized, whereas because boobs are very sexualized, I feel like it's very hard as a bigger chested person to wear something pretty. Everyone's gonna be like, that's straight up underwear and that belongs in the bedroom. I just don't want to be told that what I'm wearing is slutty when I go outside. Yes, if I want to dress like that, that is totally up to me, but also I get a lot of unwanted attention when I do that, so I tend to err on the side of caution. The next trend is a favorite of mine, which is mermaidcore and categorizing. You can dress these normally or playfully. You can really dress them romantically or maybe a bit more casually. On the whole, these are perfect because the materials are usually light and airy, easy to layer. It's perfect for spring. I think it works well for bustier people too. I think they're both very good and easy to style, easy to accessorize, and fun to play around with. This next trend, lace, silk, and chiffon textures. Immediately a yes. Light and airy materials, beautiful textures, amazing on dresses and tops and skirts. The options are endless. These also look great on my body type as they kind of drape in this smooth way, especially silk and chiffon. They're great textures. Next up we have column dresses, which gets a maybe for me because I don't know about this. I kind of feel like these look better on skinny body types. Once again, this is kind of specific on body types, but these can kind of look bad on people who are curvier or who have just a bit more to show. I feel like the real reason why this is kind of problematic is that for people who are insecure with their waist or with their hips, those parts are going to be exaggerated in dresses like these, so I really don't recommend forcing yourself to try them just because they're trending. Also, like in general, why would you wear something that makes you feel insecure or exaggerates parts of your body that you are maybe a little bit more insecure about? I just think these are kind of like, depending on the material, depending on the fit. I'm only briefly mentioning this, but asymmetrical cuts are a maybe. I think these are once again something that can go a little bit overboard or can look really cool, really interesting, quirky. Kind of like it, but I don't have a lot of asymmetrical things, and when I used to, I threw a lot of that away when the trend was over. This might be something that is not very long lasting, especially in patterns and colors that are a little bit more maximalist, and things like that usually don't last very long because people get tired of maximalism very easily. Now here's one I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate for, and it is the flower corsage trend, 3D flower trend, whatever you want to call it. I give it a no. I think this is something that is just a way of saying, let's recycle florals in spring, but make it 3D and like bigger. I feel like it doesn't fit very many body types as it is a big object that takes a lot of the attention from the rest of the outfit. And also, I feel like these are something that are going to be out of style so quickly. We have tried floral trends in the past in a more 3D form, like in the 50s and stuff. We've tried these with hats, we've tried these with headbands, and I don't think this type works. I think it is too much, and it could be cute if it's a little bit or it's small. These are tougher to wash, maintain. I like some of them if they're like very subtle. I feel like these are gonna feel tacky very quickly, so it's a pass for me. Please don't hate me for that. I know so many people love this trend. Next up, we have feminine loungewear, which directly connects to balletcore in the sense that we have the pink Pilates princess, we have arm warmers, leg warmers, our loungewear in softer pink colors or lilacs or light greens. Yes, 100% yes. Let's go. For someone who works from home all the time, having something a little bit cuter but still like comfy and soft and easy to wear at home, 100% yes. These are really comfortable and cute, so you can wear them at home with ease, or maybe if you go to the grocery store if you live in the States versus if you live in Europe, you might not do that, but I have a whole video on that topic. I spend like 90% of my time in sweatpants, so it would be nice to have them in pink or green or other very pretty and feminine colors that just brighten up my mood a little bit. This next trend I'm only going to mention briefly because I feel like we could totally get into this as an aesthetic, but I'm not going to do that. Dollcore. A yes for me. This feels like it's similar to the dollette aesthetic, a little bit more decorative and maybe a little bit more leaning into the Lolita direction. I don't know if I would wear it specifically unless it were something like a selkie dress maybe, or just something that's a little bit less Lolita and a little bit more just like feminine and cute. Either way, I think this is great for inspiration. I think this is gonna bring a lot of beautiful dresses, beautiful cuts. I like it. I think it's very Chobits-like. If you've ever seen the anime Chobits, it really reminds me of that. I mean, technically the pasacoms in that anime are dressed up like dolls, so I think I would definitely buy a few items from this. We'll see what's out there. The next trend that is popping up everywhere is indie sleaze, and that gets a solid maybe because this trend can be so tacky so quickly if you don't know how to style it. I think it's very cool if you can style it well and style it pretty. I have tried something similar to this in the past, and let's just say I tried and failed hardcore because it has the potential to look cringe very easily and you really have to know what you're doing when styling it. It's kind of like I feel like this is just another version of e-girl and Y2K combined. It's not something I'm looking for personally. This next trend is an immediate skip, and it's oversized everything. Does not look good on my body type, makes me look like a trash bag, looks mostly good only on flatter body types. The next trend I hope will be burned and will disappear as fast as it arrived, which is dresses over pants. No, no, no. Childhood trauma. Don't try it. Don't attempt it. You'll regret it. I am speaking to you as somebody who has lived through this. I have vivid memories. Don't do it. And in that similar vein, we have two trends that are kind of coexisting with one another, which is casual office attire and big bags. No. Why? Big bags. Really bulky, kind of excessive, really ugly in most colors and textures. These were installed back in 2012 and I remember me and all of my friends had them and they looked bad. Buy a normal sort of minimalist looking bag. You have much more versatility, much less weird, and as for the business casual attire, it's not as attractive as you think it looks. You're just repeating the early 2000s trends. Now there is a way to dress very well for business casual or in general for office attire, but this isn't it. Don't go into what that entire mess was. On a more positive note, I like denim on denim. I don't know, it's just simple, basic, but cool. And also you can experiment with your denims. That's also trending, where you add some patterns or extra textures to them. Either way, I feel like denim on denim is something you can't really go wrong with. Let's go, denim on denim. The next one, I don't really understand why people are saying it's a trend, because it is just an everlasting item that will always and forever be in the fashion world, and that is blazers. Obviously gets a yes for me. Have you watched my channel? Blazers are so high quality, so versatile, easy to layer with, easy to find cheap, and they have pockets, which defeats the whole we have to have bags because they don't make nice jeans for us. If you don't have a blazer yet, go thrift yourself one. And to go with the blazers, we have the colorful tights, which also I really like the idea of. I think this is gonna be a great way to accessorize your blazer outfits, to match your blazer outfits. Possibilities are endless. Layering options are great. Versatility, wonderful, love it. Let's go. This next one is also colors, but I don't know how I feel about it because colorful bottoms in bold colors specifically can go wrong very fast. once again lived through my electric blue jeans and my neon green jeans era. However, I think if you get your bottoms in not denim, I think it'll actually look a lot better, because if they're dress pants, flowy pants, pants that belong to a blazer set, I feel like those are much easier to style than denim specifically. I feel like jeans are very difficult to style without it looking very tacky. So unless you know how to style these well and can style them in versatile ways with either matching colors or neutral colors that go well with them, I would not recommend getting them. We have another era back in style, which is the 80s. Unless it's anywhere between the 2000s and 2015, I don't think you can really go wrong with decades as a whole. First we had the 60s, then we dabbled into the 90s, and now we are circling back to the 80s, which makes a lot of sense. A lot of the trends that we're already seeing geared towards spring are inspired by the 80s, like the colorful prints, bolder colors. I think the 80s was wonderful and playful in its own way, and I think it'll bring out a lot of cool patterns, a lot of cool silhouettes. And yeah, I'm very excited to see how we style the 80s. Now here's a trend you might think I don't dislike, but I actually do, and that is boho. Boho can go wrong so fast, and it can go out of style even faster. I think boho is just this temporary placeholder trend that is waiting to be swept away by something bigger and better. I think people are also confusing boho with something like cottagecore and fairycore, because these aesthetics and their names and these categories in general didn't really exist until like 2019. So I feel like a lot of people go into boho thinking it's what they want, and then it's not. And I was one of those people, and I've seen so many people do this. I feel like boho can look cute, but not on me, and it is so tacky. Once again, early 2000s, traumatized forever. I'm so sorry. I feel like there are far more trends that I hate than I love. It's just because I feel like I've gone through so many buyer's remorse kind of situations with so many of these trends, but let me briefly mention the last few ones. First, we have the blurry prints. This is going to be as short-lived as tie-dye or anything super maximalist. I don't think many people are actually going to enjoy this down the line, and I don't think this is something many people would be wearing like 7 years from now. So if you're not a big patterns person or a maximalist, I would skip it. Micro short shorts. I don't want half of my butt cheek out. It's as simple as that. And finally, the last one that I really dislike is capris. I think these are an abomination unless styled very specifically. These were something that I wore when I went hiking and exercising, and once again, I feel like these are a time and place kind of thing, and the ones especially in the army pattern, like they could look cute. I feel like in a neutral color these could be cute, but I don't see myself going to a store to buy these. I feel like I've brought out too much of my Finnish brutal honesty into this video, so let's end this with a happy note, which is pastel colors. A given, an obvious choice, but timeless and perfect for spring every single time. Also, these are something that you can recycle next spring or even in the winter if you're someone like me who just loves pastels in general. Yeah, I feel like you can't really go wrong with pastels unless you really don't like pastels, in which case just don't buy them. Now, I may or may not have rated these pretty harshly, and I may or may not change my opinion later on, though I feel like with most things, I doubt I will. What do you think of these spring trends? What are you most likely gonna invest in, and what are you definitely skipping? Let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear your thoughts, and as usual, I'll see you next time.